Hello. Here's some thoughts on the excerpt from the first movement of Brahms' Second Symphony. First thing, I think this can be a very kind of dance-like excerpt. It has a very bouncy feel. It's a kind of a joyous piece. So I think you can embrace that. The other thing to be aware of is the difference between sforzatos, excuse me, and accents. Generally, the way I think about those is accents are a little more vertical. So you're kind of like putting a lot of weight in and then releasing it. And then by contrast, the sforzatos are a little more horizontal. So there's a little bit, not zoomy, but more sort of cushion in the articulation. So. So something else to think about here is making sure that you're matching the energy of what the rest of the orchestra is doing. So for instance, the 3 bars from the end of the second line, there's this passage here. And what I would love to hear is the violin part going on above that. So dum ba da dum da di dum da da dum da di dum ba da di, etc. etc. In the poco forte that's at the end of the third line. Make sure that you give yourself enough room to grow, because there's a crescendo that's actually missing from this part. It starts happening at the beginning of the second to last line, the second iteration of this C sharp. And then it goes all the way to the end of that line, the half note A, and that's where we have a fortissimo, and it's kind of a big arrival. So you want to make sure that you're saving energy from the poco forte to that fortissimo, okay? Very lyrical, very connected. And then when we get to the last line, make sure that your eighth notes all have substance and direction, but clean articulation. One other thing that I personally like to do in this one is at the end of the second line, where we go from the low B to the high E, I like to imagine that it's all in the same register. So whether you like or just make sure that it feels as connected as it would be as if it were on the same register. So. Yeah, those are my thoughts.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed Ted Botsford's excerpts and his explanation of these masterworks of amazing works of art by Mozart and Bach. Oh, just probably the best symphonies ever. The bass parts are just so cool to perform. And maybe if you keep practicing, you could be like Ted and playing in world-famous orchestra with the greatest musicians, getting to play these major works like he gets to do. So it's really inspiring to have him explain what to think about. So how he plays is really, really helpful, and I hope that it inspires you to understand that we all love to play solo bass, but don't forget that you're also very good and can go and play in your orchestras, from your school orchestra to your community orchestras to youth symphonies to district and state. It's just fantastic stuff out there. A lifetime of enjoyment of playing the bass, not just solos, but orchestra parts. So much fun. Oh, you're going to love it. Ted was George's student, and George was very clever at putting orchestras in his method, from the Mahler, which many of you know, to the Elephant, Beethoven's Ninth. We hope this leads you down this path of getting inspired to learning these masterworks and playing bass for all kinds of ensembles. Keep practicing, and we hope to see you at the next KCBass event. Have fun.